Another topic in our programming is functions. First, what is the need for a function? Every program must have a main function to indicate where the program has to begin its execution. That we already discussed. Always a program execution starts with a main function. It is possible to code any program with just main function, but the program can become very large and complex, and as a result, the task of debugging, testing, and maintaining becomes difficult. Also, the code will not be easy to understand also when the program becomes too big. Also, for example, if we are manipulating a matrix, many times we need to print a matrix. So each and every time, instead of repeating the code, if we can write a function for printing the matrix, whenever it is required, say 3 or 5 times we need to print a matrix, each and every time you just have to call the function. So that is a need for a function. What is a function? If a program is divided into functional parts, each part can be independently coded and later can be combined into a single unit. These independently coded programs are called subprograms or functions. They are easy to understand, debug, and test. So they are also called subprograms. Subprograms or functions. They are called subprograms because they are part of a program. Okay, so they are also called functions. Then there are two types of functions. One set of functions are library functions that we already know. We use a set of functions included in various header files, printf, scanf, all these are functions. Then last classes we discussed string handling. In that we learned strcat, strcpy. Then to find the string length you can use strle, and all these are library functions. We don't have to define those functions. All these functions are defined in the header files, and by including the proper header file we can use all these library functions. Second type is user defined function, where the programmer or the user will write based on our use. So user defined function can later be a part of the C program library also. Then this is a simple schematic of a modular programming. If we have a main program, it can be divided into three functions, say A, B, and C, and even that function can be subdivided into two parts. So this approach is called modular programming. So let's check what modular programming is. Modular programming is a strategy applied to the design and development of software systems. Then it is defined as organizing a large program into small and independent program segments called modules. They are separately named and individually callable program units. They are carefully integrated to become a software system that satisfies the system requirements. It is basically a divide and conquer approach to problem solving. For example, if you consider a software, say for managing a library, many times we have some common functions to do to access the particular number of a book or to get the author of the book. So, say the requirements are common. All these requirements can be met with various functions. So when we complete that software, many times same task has to be done again and again. So at all those times, we can call these different modules. So this approach is called modular programming. It is a divide and conquer approach to problem solving. Then modules are identified and designed such that they can be organized into a top-down hierarchical structure, as we saw in the figure. Then in C, each module refers to a function that is responsible for a single task. Then the characteristics are each module should do only one thing. For example, matrix read, matrix write, like that. For a particular task, we enclose it in a function or a module. Then communication between modules is allowed only by a calling module. A module can be called by one and only one higher module. No communication can take place directly between the modules that do not have calling called relationship. So you can recall the last figure we saw. Function A, B, and C are there. Then subparts of B are B1 and B2. So B1 and B2 will be accessed by function B, not by function A or C. So that's what it is saying. That is top-down approach. So no communication will take place directly between the modules that do not have calling call relationship. For example, B1 and B2 will not be linked, but function B can call both B1 and B2 like that. Then all modules are designed as single entry, single exit systems using control structures. So these are the various characteristics of modular programming. The advantages are it facilitates the top-down modular programming. In this style, the high-level logic of the overall problem is solved first, while the details of each lower-level function are addressed later. Then it is used for saving the memory. Length of the source program can be reduced because some code need to be reused. So if it can be enclosed separately as a function or a module, it can be used again and again. This memory space is saved and more efficiently utilized. Then debugging is easier. It is easy to locate and isolate a faulty function for further investigation. Then reusability, a function may be used by many other programs. So a C programmer can build on what others have already done instead of starting all over again from scratch. Then functions in C program, it is a self-contained block of code that performs a particular task, and it can be treated as a black box that takes some data from the main program and returns a value. The inner details are invisible to the rest of the program. So the program need not go to the detail of the function definition. From just the function header, we can get the basic information like what all arguments it is needed and what data it is returning. So based on that, we can use the function. That's why they use the word black box. It has three parts: function declaration, function definition, and function call. And program execution normally starts with the main function. Even though there are many other user-defined functions along with the program, always program execution begins with the main function itself. So each and every term, declaration, definition, call, all these will be explained with a simple example called